seconds remaining.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a Beyond the Summit presentation. We're going to be bringing you guys a game for the We Play Dota 2 Cup series between No Tidehunter / Alliance going up against Fnatic here. So this is game 2 of the best of 3 series. Really interesting game 1 with Fnatic just taking it away. Really solid draft, played it extremely well. Gank oriented, team fight oriented, push oriented. They had just a little bit of everything and it worked out very, very nicely for them. But Alliance wants to answer back, doesn't want this to end out without a fight, so we'll have to see what they bring back. But once again, back to the broadcast. I am Blaze, and warm welcome over to Skim. How's it going, man?
Hey, I'm really excited for this matchup because Fnatic, as you mentioned, played really well, and Alliance will be looking to get some sweet, sweet revenge. The banning has begun already, and it's interesting to see that Fnatic is banning Chen and Magnus themselves, seeing as they just picked them up. But I guess everything changes as soon as your first pick, so yeah.
Yep, those are 2 key heroes here, but we do see that the puck does go through that banning stage, so something that both heroes look into as a hero that has a lot of potential. And if he's not, he might not necessarily be like a first pick material hero, but second, if he's not picked up by No Tidehunter in their first and second, I could definitely see Fnatic looking at second and third. So it's pretty much who's going to pull the trigger on that one first and try to set the pace with that hero. He's not like overpowered in any sense, but it's such a good hero to deal with a lot of different compositions and to gain a little bit of control in a chaotic battlefield. So curious to see if it's going to be something that we do end up seeing. But other heroes that have gotten on through would be, yeah, that Keeper of the Light, Phantom Lancer combo, and they have to be a little bit worried that No Tidehunter might be looking to draft that up.
Yeah, and I think Fnatic is thinking about that as well, because if they pass on the Keeper of the Light, No Tidehunter will definitely pick that one up because they are very comfortable with that. But also, I guess Fnatic is looking at, yeah, there goes the Keeper of the Light, but No Tidehunter can pick up the Nakes and Lone Druid, a combo which they very much like. I've seen them run that over and over again, and as we all know, Admiral Bulldog, the pioneer of Lone Druid. Well, not the pioneer, but one of the best Lone Druid players out there.
They have to make a decision here themselves, looking at Nature's Prophet or Lone Druid. You generally don't pick up both of them. I guess technically you could find a lineup that would, but in this situation, neither one banned out. Both of them options for Admiral Bulldog, but the other one could easily be picked up by Trixie. They're actually pretty similar in their hero set. They pick up the Lone Druid here. Curious to see if the Prophet is snapped up in this next phase, but also the next Assassin. A lot of gank potential, a lot of heavy presence either on the lane or just being aggressive across the map here. It depends on how much of momentum that he gets if he starts kind of snowballing in the mid, if he wants to go solo, picked up by S4, who loves that hero to be honest, or if he's just going to go for that tri-lane scenario and just try to add his stuns to the pile of disables that presumably No Tide will be looking to draft. But nevertheless, strong hero, and the Lone Druid, of course, this 100% signature hero of Admiral Bulldog, and happy to be able to get that up, because honestly, even though it's like his super signature hero, most people ban it out against him. Ban it out first phase or pick it up first phase. And in this case, slipping on through, he'll be able to play that once again, but this time up against the Lifestealer from Era.
And they pick up the Bane as well, so kind of preventing Alliance from picking that one up as a direct counter to Lifestealer. And Bane is a good counter to the Lone Druid as well, because you can sleep the bear, or Enfeeble's also very strong against the bear, so looking forward to that. And I actually wouldn't be surprised if Fnatic picked up a Storm Spirit later on, because they really love that Storm Spirit Nakes bump. Yeah, but this time around, no Tidehunter is now picking. I guess they want to pick up the puck right now, because otherwise Fnatic is definitely going to ban that one out. And having S4 on the puck, which is just insane, he takes it to the next level.
But they go for the Leshrac. Interesting selections here. Could go. I'm actually surprised if they wanted to go for that kind of composition, why they wouldn't go for like the Shadow Demon. If the Nyx Assassin is indeed running on the mid lane, then he would already have that covered in presence. But by picking up this Leshrac here, it seems to be that Nyx Assassin is going to be running as support. That they want to run that combo, the Impale into Split Earth. It's very, very easy to make those stuns happen, and I think it could be a powerful lockdown. I like what Leshrac brings to the table. I'm just kind of surprised it's a third pick. I mean, in general, I don't think that he has that much presence in the draft, and I guess they just wanted to run out the supports and keep the carries a surprise, as usual for Lotus selection, but nevertheless, I don't know if it's really, it was in a position to be contested at this stage in the draft.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually surprised about that as well, but I guess they kind of want to, they feel comfortable giving away the information that Leshrac pickup reveals. I mean,
yeah, not much.
This lineup is actually, it's giving away that they they are very strong when it comes to push with the Bear, with the Edict, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if there was maybe even a DK for them in this time, because DK is also a very, well, as I mentioned in the last game, no Tidehunter likes to pick that one up as some sort of push carry. Yeah, but we'll see. This is a bit down the road. No Tidehunter banning out the Phantom Lancer, still fearing that one. I guess Fnatic could have still picked up the Phantom Lancer, but would have been a dual carry strat with both carries needing a lot of farm. I'm not sure if that would be a good idea.
I've seen that actually work. Either running the Keeper Light Lifestealer Bane as an aggressive tri-lane, or Keeper Light Phantom Lancer Bane, and either way, the Lifestealer or Phantom Lancer will be solo, so it wouldn't be the best situation for either one of them, but we saw last game, Lifestealer versus Lone, or actually it wasn't last game, but it was in this, in the matches today, Lifestealer versus Lone Druid one-on-one, that the Lifestealer can still hold his own. Going up for Feast, he can actually do pretty well in that 1 versus 1 situation. So it is something they could have drafted, and if they wanted to run PL in the off-lane 3v3, I really think that it could have actually been rather promising. But either way, they're taking it out, not having to worry about that, and also Alliance wisely taking out the Nature's Prophet, taking out Trixie's other go-to hero here. Do you think a Bounty Hunter is viable in this situation?
Actually, yeah, I think that could be viable, but I think they might actually go for that Weaver from Trixie. I mean, Bounty Hunter definitely brings something to the table, but looking at no Tidehunter's draft, if they might get another... If they actually go for the DK, their lineup is going to be rather tanky, except for maybe Little Shrek. And with Bounty Hunter, you kind of want quick pickoffs, and with all those tanky heroes, I'm not sure if that's possible. And Trixie's Weaver, I think, would kind of suit their playstyle right now as an offlaner, and could be such a nuisance against those two supports. He's rather elusive, can escape, of course, forces out sentries. So I'm expecting a Weaver at this point.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different little weird options. I think No Tidehunter is contemplating that themselves. I mean, you can only pan out so many different mid heroes to be selected. They actually go for the Queen of Pain here, which is kind of a little bit of both worlds, in the sense that it could be technically off-lane or mid. But yeah, you're right. Trixie still, although he doesn't get the Prophet, is able to go for this Clockwork here, and I think this is a really, really cool pick. I don't actually think that... Is it Trixie the one that plays the Clockwork, or do they kind of switch up their roles for this one?
I've actually never seen Trixie play the Clockwork, now that you mention it.
I think I've seen a couple of different individuals. I think maybe Hani has picked it up before, and I'm curious to see if they'll switch up their lanes entirely based on that, or if they'll just put Hani on the mid Clockwork.
Yeah, well, Clockwork in the mid lane could work, definitely. It's such a nuisance to play against. When you position the cogs, you just automatically run into them, and there's... I think they're not overpowered, but they're really strong. I mean, 80 damage and mana and health drain and level 1, that's a bit too much.
So why don't you think Fnatic banned out the Juggernaut?
The Juggernaut, very quick drafting
back
right
and
here.
Forth, back and forth.
Yeah, Juggernaut, I don't see that fitting, really. I mean, it's a good hero to have, although I think they could actually pick that up. Yeah, but I think it's not one of really Loda's signature heroes.
Sure,
I mean, Loda's very known for Gyrocopter, Luna, and they banned them out, so...
Okay,
Jugger's still an option, definitely.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I was just looking at, like, Leshrac, if he has Edict, and you have the Healing Ward to push, and later on with the Lone Druid, they synergize so darn well. I thought it was a very, very obvious pick, but like you said, Loda, he has a very interesting set of heroes, and as versatile as he may be, Juggernaut doesn't seem to be the one that he picks up very frequently, so still probably something that could be on their minds, but now some pressure comes on out. The long-range initiation setup from Fnatic makes this really, really interesting. I do think it will be a long-lane Clockwork, and presumably that means it's going to be picked up by Trixie there, because Hani loves his Storm. Hani's, I mean, playing that since Heroes of New Earth. I mean, he's just been storming it up for a long time. We do see the Anti-Mage come on out, and a little bit of Split Push, a little bit of just high potential against heroes like Bane and Storm Spirit. That ultimate really, really wreaks havoc on them. When you can mana burn them down, no tail, actually going to be picking it up. So things are changing very, very quickly. Is it going to be supportive Trixie or supportive Hani? Generally, we see Hani's support and replace a no-tail, but like we said, Clockwork doesn't seem to be Trixie's hero. Maybe we're missing a couple games. Obviously, there's so much Dota going on that I'm sure he's played like half a dozen good Clockwork games and we just have no idea, but we'll see it picked up. Trixie's going to be running the Clockwork, Storm Spirit will be picked up by no-tail in the mid, Hani running the Bane. Era is going to be up on that Lifestealer, and then we'll see Fly on his semi-signature Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Fnatic is actually going for an aggressive trail lane. I think they could, but given that NTH is not the best trail lane hero.
5 seconds remaining.
And it would make for an interesting laning. I mean, Clockwork against Lone Druid is kind of, well, could be even 50-50, who knows. I've actually never seen that matchup, but yeah. Should we quickly run through the lineups?
Yeah, well, I kind of mentioned a little bit of what Fnatic brought to the table, so let's just check out Alliance there.
Alliance, Loda is taking on the role of the anti-mage, of course. As for on his signature dogs here, he's playing that for quite a lot. Admiral Bulldog also on his signature Lone Druid, Aki taking the Leshrac, and EGM playing the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, Nyx is one of those heroes that EGM can really play so darn well. He's very, very mobile, and the one thing I gotta say about the support is he always seems to find himself in the right place at the right time, especially when it comes down to early roaming phases. Whether he's playing a Shadow Shaman or a Shadow Demon, or in this case the Nyx Assassin, he's always able to set up those stuns, not necessarily where you wouldn't expect them, but it's always perfect. And by putting himself in the right spot, Nyx Assassin can really accomplish a lot, and Ake presumably can follow that up very nicely as well. But as far as laning, this is going to be a mid Darkseer versus a mid Storm Spirit.
Yeah, and I think S4 might have actually the advantage because he's very tanky. He will not be well. He can sustain all the harassment coming out from No Tail, and he will push the lane frequently with his Iron Shell. I've seen it from times to times, and he will push the lane and just go for the runes. And I mean, No Tail can push the lane of himself, of course, but he has to be kind of in the range to get that remnant up, and then he will get Iron Shell damage. And well, it's going to be an interesting matchup nonetheless. It looks like it's actually Trixie offlane, so no offensive trail lane.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, Clockwork is really good on the offlane, honestly. If he can time his blocks with the cogs especially, then he can make sure the creep wave is generally going to be in his favor. Has a couple of wards pooled onto him from Fly, so he's going to be able to at least get some high ground vision. This doesn't give a vision to the ward, or sorry, for the rune, so he is not going to be able to scout that specific thing out. But nevertheless, getting some very, very valuable vision to the north and northwest areas there of what's going on in the jungle and who's kind of flanking to gank.
Actually, we called the lanes wrong. As far as going into the jungle, he bought out. He bought 6 tangos, and Admiral Bullock's heading for the mid lane.
Why do you feel they need to abandon the bottom? Or why do they feel, for that matter?
I have honestly no idea. Then again, you can't really pull the creep wave with the bear if there's a honey with the sleep.
Yeah.
Because that automatically disables it. So I guess that works. And S4 is Darkseer definitely farms faster in the jungle, so I guess that's the mindset behind that.
So yeah, he's S4 going to be rotating between the bottom lane and the jungle. Depends on exactly where he wants to be. He'll have to get some clarities rolling eventually for the Iron Shield. But yeah, it looks like he is starting out 100% in that jungle. He will find some stable farm, but although this Observer Ward makes it very, very difficult to hold on the bottom lane, I still feel that somebody might have been able to manage it. I mean, Bane and Keep It Light and Lifestealer are a scary combo, no doubt about it. But it's not something that is impossible to survive. So, interesting decision making. But yeah, you're absolutely right about the Bane's Nightmare on the bear and the fact that he cannot manipulate creep wave aggro the way he would intend. So, we'll see. Right now, they're just going to go for a 3.5-1-0 setup and try to put some pressure out on Trixie up top, presumably.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, I think S4 could have maybe survived on the bottom lane, get some decent XP and harass them. But I guess the idea behind this is Alliance is thinking, okay, we just want to farm up on our hero. We don't really care if Ira gets some farm down there. We just want a quick mech, quick pipe, whatever they want. I guess it's going to be a mech.
Yeah.
And yeah, they feel comfortable giving away space to Ira.
A little bit, but S4 just missed his first stack. The easy camp was supposed to be double stacked right here, and instead just a single. It's actually going to slow him down quite a bit. He's still going to be able to farm. He's not going to be killed or anything, but it's harder and harder to actually get that good dedicated golden experience and get a vacuum to a relevant ranking. Generally, you're looking for like rank 3 vacuum about the time you hit rank 1 wall replica, and it's going to take its toll. It's going to be quite a long time before he can actually commit those kind of skill points, and in the meantime, people farming away. Era on that Lifestealer. It's just such a good combination of player and hero. These two work hand in hand, and they have a lot of potential for aggression. You Nakes Bomb, you go with the Infest inside the Clockwork, the Storm Spirit, they can go so aggressive, and they're going to be able to actually probably strike first in these kind of matchups. When the ultimates come out, Fnatic is going to start striking away and trying to put some damage on in. Maybe not so much for the push, but definitely hardcore for the gank.
Definitely, their lineup really screams aggressive. I mean, the Clockwork, the Storm Spirit, Nakes, all of the which are very aggressive heroes, and you really want to get some early kills going on. And looking at last hits, I'm really surprised that No Tail is not really, well, actually he is crushing Admiral Bulldog at this point. 8 denies so far, and 8 last hits. Admiral Bulldog, you would assume that usually a Lone Druid does very well in 1v1 lineups, but
currently big Nightmare comes on out. They did not know about this Invisor, and he does break with the Bear. Nice movement there. The damage coming out from that Illuminate, the slow from the Overload, but it's not enough just yet. The right clicks come on through. They do finish it off. First Blood goes on through. Will Hani survive? Tower shifts over, and yeah, they get it 100%. They get the Lone Druid, and although I gotta say, Bulldog had a great reflexes with trying to use his Bear to wake himself up, nevertheless, it's not going to work out, and that's because of the fact they didn't have wards on bottom, only on that top rune. Yeah,
quick fingers on Admiral Bulldog. I thought for a second he might survive there, but yeah, and as you mentioned, the lack of vision on the bot rune kind of gave away that first blood. EGM is rotating to the mid lane now, though, giving him some support.
So Era farming away, currently topping out CS at 18 and 10. Definitely going to be able to be the most impactful directly on how things work out. But he's actually going for a Basilius right here. I honestly, other than building up a Vlad's, haven't seen Basilius on Lifestealer. Do you think that's going to go Vlad's and they're just going to go for some random push?
I think it might be a casual Basilius just yet, and he might think about a Vlad's. And, well, when the time comes, he might pick up a Vlad's just for push, but I don't recommend it because with their lineup, it doesn't really scream push. They really want to be aggressive, and Vlad's doesn't really give you that much in terms of ganking. I mean, the additional damage and the lifesteal is nice to have, but other than that, I prefer something along the lines of an Omelet.
Sure enough, yeah. I mean, there's so many great options to go, especially when you're free farming away. Midas is common, Armlet Rush, Phase. I don't know. It's just like this Basilius. It's not the biggest deal in the world. He bought the Ring of Protection. Might as well get that Sage's Max to fill it on out, get a little bit of extra damage, armor, mana regen, what have you. But it's just something I just felt like commenting on because it's something that is not very commonly seen.
Yeah, definitely. But he might just push down this wave with just the Ring of Basilius. It's really a good early game item to push with. You saw it in the last game. I mean, there was what was it? Yeah, it was Era as well with DK. It's just a Ring of Basilius pushing down the lane.
Yeah, he definitely added that to the push very, very effectively. I mean, there were, of course, Chen creeps and other things to contribute to that. But nevertheless, it's just, kind of in that situation. Interesting move by Trixie, using up his salve when he wasn't even missing but 300 HP, but wants to make sure for whatever pressure is coming his direction. The creep wave pushes on in, and that does give opportunities to dive. But actually, speaking of, in mid lane, the Nightmare comes out again. Hani getting a beautiful flank off, and here comes, starting off they break the sleep, and the damage comes out. There's No Tail to finish it off, and picking up another kill. That is really, really good for them, and very unfortunate for the Lone Druid. He will have his Bear resummoned by the time it becomes relevant, but nevertheless, putting that pressure out, and you know, Admiral Bulldog being one of their really, really core heroes in this lineup, being really set back by these.
Yeah, really nice smoke gank coming right there, and also crucial that No Tail is maxing that Electric Vortex. Of course, that's a standard build, but I've seen other players maxing out Static Remnant as well. So if he hadn't maxed that one out, he would not have gotten the pull off.
Exactly. It's a difference between farming creeps really quickly and pushing the wave down and going for runes actively, or getting those ganks off. And when you can rely on your teammates like this, Fnatic is perfectly willing to commit those points of Vortex to be able to put that pressure out. And now they're forcing out EGM's rotation. He does not feel comfortable leaving Admiral Bulldog all by himself down in this mid lane. Too susceptible to these ganks, even with the really, really well-timed Bear wake up. Again, he's just like, you know, you're snoozing a little too long, shakes the bed, and Admiral Bulldog's able to get on out of there. But either way, No Tail finally has his ultimate, and that's so much more devastation potential.
Yeah, and so it looks like it's going to be a casual Basilius. Era just picked up the helm and the gloves, so it's going to be...
Invis. Hani, really, really just getting some of the best rune options for himself right here.
This time around, though, EGM is hanging around, so...
He has to.
If they don't spot him out, yeah, he has to. But if they don't spot him out, this could be a good counter gank. And as far as... Nah, he's not going there.
Not just yet. Waiting for the next creep wave for Bulldog to be pushed out a little bit further. But they're actually going in now. Going in. Here is the action from EGM. Can he get enough off? He actually dodges it out. He dodges it with the ball lightning. They get to sleep on EGM instead. They kill the Bear again. And that's actually going to be a 78-second cooldown on Lone Druid's resummon. Oh my gosh, that ball lightning from No Tail, not even the impale. EGM just ended up. He was waiting so long. He's like, I'm here. I'm ready to go. They're going to go on him. I'm ready. And then drops the impale and nothing happens. So sad for him.
Very nice individual play by Notel right there. And I gotta say, Fnatic putting this much emphasis on Admiral Bulldog is the right thing to do. He's still not level... Yeah, he just hit level 6. But he's so vulnerable at level 5 and 4 because he's so squishy before he has his true form. And this is going to put his farm way back. I mean, he has nothing. He doesn't even have boots, and I don't think he has boots on his bear just yet either. So...
Now we do see Era is actually using that Basilius actively. He's turned it on and trying to push down that tower a little bit more, moving in towards that armlet long term. But yeah, putting some damage into the tower as well, forcing Darkseer back to the bottom lane. So S4 has found what he's looking for. I was talking about him getting early levels, and he's actually almost level 8. He's doing extremely well here at a 400 plus experience per minute. So despite missing the first stack, his experience per minute has been very, very effective, even more so than Lefopper, who's actually getting stunned out. But the cogs were perfect on the supports. However, with that second split earth trapped in with Loda, he should be dropped down here with one more right click away. No, just Loda throws out the Mana Void. Just like, screw it, I don't have my blink yet, and I'm not going to chance it whatsoever. So gets a nice kill for himself, and that does give him a little bit of an edge on the Lifestealer as far as that aspect. But Lifestealer still topping out on CS very, very nicely.
Yeah, that's a really necessary kill for them, and actually surprised that they didn't try to do that earlier. I mean, when they saw...
I think they've been trying. It's just, I think Trixie honestly has been pretty survivable and pretty in a good position.
Oh, that's true, but I think they could have at least rotated both supports to the mid lane, maybe counter-initiate on the Storm Spirit, who's now also initiating on the Admiral Bulldog.
Oh, again, they don't stop here. The cogs go on in, Trixie's in on this here, and Bulldog falls once more. He just summoned that bear. Like, they waited for him to friggin' summon that bear, and 10 seconds later, they're all up on him. Clockwork was able to hit level 6 in the off lane, got that hook shot on top of it, and inside cogs with a little half, I don't know, he's not half panda anymore, but he's a little blue Mexican guy with lightning powers. You don't want to be in that kind of position. So, here we go. We see Admiral Bulldog. He's inadvertently feeding it up. He doesn't want to be, but as, you know, right now, this is a dangerous spot for him. Moving past this line and moving off his tower at all is very, very painful, and especially with that timer. 75 seconds, he's up, his bear's not, and his presence is just gone.
Yeah, and his farm, poor guy. And him being ganked all the time forces out a lot of rotation. I mean, S4 came in, EGM has been coming out as well, and this is farming time that NTH does not have. And looking at the gold graph, they're 2k behind, and Fnatic is just making the most out of it. Really getting a lot of farm on their supports, and they're stacking this camp, and they're going to farm it together. So I think Fnatic they have a big advantage, and unless Loda farms up a hell of a lot, his team is going to be in trouble.
Yeah, they're really looking for good 5v5 engages when Darkseer has a few more levels. They're biding their time for now. We're actually farming up extremely well in these neutral camps. We do see Trixie getting a little bit of vision, trying to push out some creeps, but EGM actually gained a lot of experience there. Now up to level 5. He's been roaming so hard that he desperately needed those levels if he's ever going to have Vendetta as an option, and now he definitely does. So that's going to be much more of a factor. He'll be closing out on level 6 relatively quickly, and then he can actually participate directly. We do see 2 couriers actually up for Fnatic. I was talking about that the previous game, but No Tail specifically. I was thinking Hani would do it because it was the Night Stalker, but in this case, even on the Storm Spirit, No Tail just loves that double courier, and we'll see them marching on in towards.
He bought Boots of Travel.
Already?
No Tail.
Oh my gosh, he's gotten so many kills. 301 Storm Spirit with 52 CS. Why the heck not? It's kind of like that Merlini style where it's like right place, right time, that's what you want, and that's what he's going to get. Like, he can even participate in the gank that's going to go on top lane, even though he's, you know, far, far away. There's with Travis coming in right on top of Loda. He blinks too far. There's a hook shot onto 2 supports. Beautiful hook from Trixie. They go in first to focus on Loda, finish him off. Rockets illuminates everything. This was 100% the cleanest team fight I've seen in quite some time. Fnatic just take it away, bait it out a little bit with Trixie, and then from there, completely annihilate. No Tide, Alliance, they didn't have a chance.
Insane play by Trixie, I gotta say. I'm baiting out Loda and then immediately hooking out to the 2 supports, so separating them from each other. And wow, clean execution as you mentioned.
That was ridiculous. Honestly, that was unfathomably ridiculous. I mean, Loda overshot it. He's like, oh no, he's gonna TP away. We can't let that. Oh god, he hooked to my sports. Everybody's here. Storm, Boots of Travels, 2 smoke roaming on in. Arrow was right there. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful, honestly. That was just Alliance not being prepared, caught with their pants down, and now they lose their tier 1 tower. You were talking about gold advantage before. Oh my gosh, it's gonna go up. It's moving in towards 4k right now, almost doubling that advantage that was aforementioned. Either way, they really need to pull something together. I'm thinking they need a huge team fight with a wall of replica, and that means Darkseer has to hit level 11, level 12. On mid, damage on Bulldog, bursting him down pretty hardcore. They get the surge, they try to get him away, and they actually will be able to keep him alive. Last right click won't do it. He dodges it out with the ultimate. More right click comes on in though. No-Tail gets another one and picks up S4 for his trouble here. Cleaning it up nicely. We do see Cogs in the mid, EGM in a bad spot, and still no Vendetta. He does get a mana burn off, hurting No-Tail quite substantially, but not as much as they've hurt him. Bringing him down on bottom lane. Era gets a pick off on the Lifestealer. Is there any engagement they're not winning right now? I mean, this is just so stompy. Every single time they go on in, they win every single side of fight. I figured like there'd be some trade-off. No, everybody's doing amazingly.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I saw that NTH was moving with their 2 supports, trying to get a gank off on bottom, but then immediately No-Tail initiated in the mid lane, and they were completely separated from each other. There was only 1 TP support, and they got picked off one by one. Whereas Fnatic, they move as at least 3 all the time. That's really good and clutch play right there.
Yeah, it's really strong. And like generally speaking, when you have this much aggression, you're gonna have a weak front. You're gonna have a sideline thing. They could, you know, flank up or catch you off guard and suddenly bring you down. But even Era duking it out. Actually, Fiendskier coming out on Loda. They have the BOTs to actually follow this up, but the stun does come on through. No, it's not gonna lock down. Instead, they still finish off Loda with a big vortex, trying to go on EGM as well. Carapace comes on through, does stun up a couple, but still he falls. And still, they just camp on rampaging on through. Checking out the levels. Level 12 Lifestealer, level 11 Storm coming on in the mid lane. What's going on here? Cogs, Trixie, catching out Bulldog again. Easy hook, easy life. Bringing down Bulldog, looking for S4. The Nightmare keeps him in place. Broken by No-Tail, it looks like intentionally, to be able to bring him down here. Yeah, they bounce it back and forth, set it up for No-Tail. His unstoppable spree is here, and I wouldn't blame them for calling it at this stage. This is just ridiculous.
This is indeed very ridiculous, and you mentioned that they need a Wall of Replica fight, something, but at this point, I mean, S4, he will have his Wall of Replica with 1 more level, but he doesn't even have a mech yet. And 13 minutes in, jungle Darkseer, you kind of want a mech at this point, and he's going to be really poor, and his whole team is really poor. Even Loda, who has been free farming all the time, is not very close to his Battle Fury just yet. He still needs 2 items to go, and yeah, at this point, I can't imagine Alliance pulling this one back unless Fnatic makes some big mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, Dota is a game of mistakes, and if Fnatic gets overconfident, they overstep their bounds, they still have a chance of losing this one. But it's the slimmest right now with Trixie having the mechanism. He has a lot of oomph to back up with a high HP pool. His armor is getting higher and higher. And no, I really think that Fnatic is just in so much control that unless they make a terribly atrocious mistake, they're going to just be able to wipe the floor with this one 100%. I mean, Bulldog. Look at what. Oh, they actually do miss a hook, but you know, right here, backing up with the ball of lightning, they will be able to set up enough time for the Cogs, pushing him to the southwest. Actually getting flanked up. Lotus here goes for the ulti, but only on a half mana. Hani bursts down. EGM gets destroyed by that Lifestealer. Now they clean it up 100%. Going on through, they even get the Fiend's Grip on Loda. S4 to fall as well. Last one, they just need the right clicks. They need the ball of lightning, and he has the mana to support it. They will be able to do it. Gets the clear vision. Gets the right clicks here, and they're going to be able to finish it off for a full team wipe once again. 20-1 for Fnatic here. Oh my goodness, they try so hard. They even were able to get a substantial flank to gank off between on that mid lane, but Loda jumps on in. He sees a half mana Bane, and he's like, that's the guy I want, and unfortunately, it didn't change anything.
Alliance had the right idea in mind. They were kind of baiting with the bear, or with Admiral Bulldog, and they were waiting up here, up the cliff, but they got impatient, so they ran backwards and tried to flank them, as you mentioned, and exactly during that moment, No-Tail initiated, so they were once again separated and got picked off one by one.
This is pretty ridiculous here. So, as I mentioned before, I guess I can't stop saying that, because it just keeps on, it's like so darn true. I mean, right now, the GPM of the Anti-Mage is 330. That Battle Fury won't be coming until like the 20-minute mark. That's an overstatement, honestly. That's a pretty good estimate for him, but nevertheless, Loda is so far behind it. Even when he gets it, what's he got? He's got right-click potential. He's got the potential to cleave down creeps, farm away, take down Ancients, split push a little bit. But you can't split push when you have No-Tail with so much mana. BOT's Orchid, he always will be able to find Anti-Mage, always will be able to pick him off. And from there, their only hope is in a 5v5 team fight that they just happen to destroy. And they almost had it there, but again, no Wall of Replica just yet from the Darkseer. S4 still at level 10. And we see No-Tail just jumping all about with that Nyx infested inside, looking for an opportunity, looking for an Anti-Mage, and not finding him just yet. Loda just like holding his ground. He's trying to find a way out, and he does actually get away, but still.
Yeah, Era actually went for the Vladimir's offering, so they're looking to push in, and they can definitely do so. There's such a big level and farm advantage for Fnatic, and they shouldn't actually be that afraid. But I guess they want a bit more pickoffs until they breach high ground, which now quick pause coming in. Trixie's even out farming the anti-mage, although Trixie was offlane. He has a completed mech up. As far as kind of a bit behind on that one. Yeah, it's looking really dim for NTH.
Yeah, the last pick they got was actually another pick on Nyx Assassin. Might I add, he hasn't found his Vendetta yet. Like, I was like so happy for him when he found like a triple stack of neutrals. I'm like, yeah, he's jumped up from barely level 3 to a good portion to level 5. He's still barely like 2/3 of the way through level 5. And he hasn't been able to Vendetta, not for aggression, not for escapes. And yeah, if you actually look at it, there's no ultimates on the field. Of course, Leshrac picks this up very, very late. The Darkseer has not opted for it just yet. The Vendetta, just not there yet. So they have Druid's true form, which, you know, allows them to survive as best as possible, but in this situation, that's not so much, even in that circumstance. Then you have Anti-Mages, which has so far gone once on a hero that has, you know, 65% mana. Either way, TP down bottom. I find it amazing that Fly TPing alone is enough to scare them a little bit. They actually might be able to find a kill on him if they actually man up a little bit, but Storm is always nearby. He has the Lifestealer inside him, and then they got the recall. I'm not sure why they're recalling the guy with the BOTs and when they could just do that, but either way, big split earth coming out. Fly might just drop down here. Nice vacuum. EGM does go for that Carapace, but he won't get dropped. Anyways, there is finally a kill. Fly gets picked up by Loda. S4 is Fiend's Grip on in. They bring down the Darkseer. They're looking for Loda. They will find him as well. A third kill for a single support, which is probably the best thing they could have hoped for.
Yeah, wow, I gotta say. And there's the BOTs even on the creep.
Oh my god, he's gonna get... Okay. I didn't even... Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where he just jumps in and has even more observation skills than I, myself, with an eagle-eye view. He sees an opportunity so far away, and finally, the pain is over. Good game, well played comes out.
The gold graph, oh my god. I think it's like 17k, 19 actually. 19k in favor of Fnatic. So yeah, they definitely showed very clean execution, impeccable coordination as well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they had like such overwhelming good movements, good transition, good solid fights in game 1. This game 2 just made that look like a child's play. Like, this was perfectly executed in every right. They lost 2 heroes, one of them in the last minute, in a 19-minute game, and they take 25 kills. They perfectly disables and damage and roaming. I mean, I gotta say, there is a little bit of luck involved. There were like 2 or 3 Invis runes that came on multiple times from the Bane, so he did get lucky, and he was able to put more pressure on Admiral Bulldog than what would otherwise be there. But holy crap, man. This game was just so beautifully executed from Fnatic. Just shows why they are easily considered a tier 1 team, and when they're playing with their full roster, they have so much potential. I mean, No Tide or Alliance are the guys who beat them out in the Star Ladder. They were number 1 in that situation. They are still considered about a number 1 European team, but right now, Fnatic made them look like they were a tier 2, a tier 3 team. They just completely outplayed them in every single respect, and I gotta say, I know they might be a little bit off. I mean, everybody has off days, but Fnatic really just took advantage of that and ran wild with that. Really, really awesome play from them.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was I don't know. They just played out of their mind. That was insanely well executed, and Alliance stood no chance whatsoever throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's pretty much it. 100%. They didn't stand a chance. They put the emphasis on Lone Droid as they should have, and he came up short with 204 GPM. I mean, I feel bad looking at Nyx and Leshrac having 104, 107, but looking at the Lone Druids, 204, like this is Admiral Bulldog. This is his guy, and he's sitting there 070 with Tranquil boots and I think regular boots and Stout Shield on the bear. Like, it's just so darn sad, but. Nevertheless, that was just one game of this best-of-3 series. We've already gone through Game 1 and Game 2, so that is going to be this match taken away by Fnatic. They take it, best-of-3 series in favor of Fnatic, and they will be placed as number 1 in their Group Stage B for We Played Dota 2. So this is Phase 2 of the tournament. Everybody that advances from here will be in the playoffs. Because they won their first match, Alliance will have an opportunity to go for second, third deciders. When that's going to be, it's hard to say because I know for a fact that they also are supposed to play in the Premier League in approximately 2 hours. So whether or not that'll be figured out within that time frame, I'm not sure how the conflict will work itself out, and yeah, we'll see. But I know that we are scheduled, that I'm scheduled to be casting that in just under 2 hours at the Premier League. So you guys can check me out there, and that's when I'm going to be casting up that game versus Kaipi Gaming. But that's if that's the case. I mean, obviously there's a conflict, and we'll have to figure out how it's resolved. But either way, awesome game, awesome match coming out of these guys here. And do you have anything more to say about this game?
No, I'm just completely impressed by Fnatic. This is probably the best game I've seen from them so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, perfect execution. And it seems to be working really well with Hani on that Bane, coordinating with No-Tail on the Storm. I mean, usually those roles are reversed, but they've worked well with the transition, and they're still just playing it so darn well. So awesome, awesome stuff from Fnatic, and well played to them as they advance on into the playoffs there. So thank you guys for tuning in. This has been, of course, the Beyond the Summit 2 stream, and if you guys enjoyed the commentary, I'm Blaze. You can check me out at twitter.com/blazecasting, and for you, Skim?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter as Skim Gaming and on Twitch as well.
There we go. So thanks for coming on, man. It was very fun to cast for you guys, and I believe that's going to be it for this live stream here. What LD is going to be doing with We Play for Beyond the Summit 1 stream, you guys will have to head over there and see, but as far as this matchup here, completely in the hands of Fnatic, very, very clear-cut victors of this, and yeah, that's going to be it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hopefully you guys enjoyed the game.